Hey everyone, and welcome back to another excellent edition of the Classic Video Game Channel. Every so often, a game will combine and just wow us, leaving us speechless. It'll have beautiful graphics, a great soundtrack, and most of all, awesome gameplay. When we discover these gems, we can't help but immerse ourselves in them. Not only do we spend countless hours playing them, but for me at least, I find myself looking up the history and backstory of them. One thing we all do when we stumble across these treasures is look to see if they ever got a sequel. Well, you may be surprised to learn that the very treasure I'm talking about today is actually a sequel itself, and fanboys, prepare yourself, it may just be better than the masterpiece it's following up. I'm of course referring to none other than Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Now, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island may be a direct follow-up to the 1990 Super Nintendo launch classic, but don't let that misguide you. Yoshi's Island is a pretty large departure from the standard Mario fare of the time, and one area where this is largely evident is the story. The game begins with a nice little cutscene showing a stork carrying two babies across the sea. The evil Magic Koopa Kamek soon appears, however, and attempts to steal both the babies. Kamek only manages to kidnap baby Luigi, though, leaving baby Mario to fall onto an island. I wonder what island this could be. Well, it comes as no surprise that this is Yoshi's Island, home to all Yoshis. Wait, Yoshis are an actual species? And to think, all that time we just thought it was that lovable green dinosaur's name. Okay, anyways, you soon learn that the Yoshis, along with baby Mario, must traverse their way through the game's 6 worlds to save baby Luigi and rescue the stork from baby Bowser and Kamek. Each of the worlds has 8 levels, consisting of 6 standard stages, a mid-boss, and a final boss. The stages contain multiple paths to reach your goal, and really promote exploration, which I find highly enjoyable in this game. Also, depending on how you jump through the spinning roulette at the end of each level, you may be treated to one of many bonus games for a chance to unlock some extras. The bosses, on the other hand, almost feel like the normal stages, except with a boss put at the end. This isn't bad though, and it almost feels reminiscent of the first Spyro game. Now, as I stated, all the Yoshis must team up to save Luigi, so you may be thinking to yourself, how can all the Yoshis go on this adventure? Well, this is where things get pretty cool. Each level features baby Mario riding a different Yoshi, and at the end of each stage, he is passed on to the next one. As simple as this is, I find it a very cool aspect of the game. The only thing that could have made it better was if each Yoshi had their own special ability. Then again, this could have just bogged down the gameplay, so it's probably better that that wasn't the case. Speaking of gameplay in Yoshi's Island, it rocks, or should I say, it eggs. No? Okay. Well, as I was saying, Yoshi's Island has some terrific gameplay that is extremely addicting, and reminiscent of one famous pink puffball. While it may not be new that the Yoshis are able to extend their Gene Simmons-like tongues, swallow their enemies, and then somehow magically turn them into eggs, what ensues is a rather fresh twist on the standard fare. Instead of only being able to hold one egg at a time, you're now able to carry 6. Not only this, but you now possess the control of crosshairs, which can be used to aim these eggs. This is not some cheap gameplay gimmick though. No, it's far from that. To advance the slightest bit in this game, you must master the art of egg shooting, which in all honesty isn't really too difficult an art to master, but still a fun and extremely addicting art at that, and lends itself to some creative and imaginative level design. Now, as I mentioned before, it's your job as each Yoshi in the game to escort baby Mario from point A to point B in each stage, passing him off to the next Yoshi. Come in contact with an enemy at any time during this, however, and get your earplugs ready. When you get hit by an enemy, baby Mario will start floating away in a bubble while crying. But no, it's not just a cry, it's an ear-piercing wail capable of shattering glass. It evokes pain even in those who are deaf. It is perhaps one of the most deplorable, atrocious, and altogether horrific uses of 16-bit sound to ever befall upon my ears. But simply grab Mario before your timer runs out and all will be fine. Now, the way to make sure this timer stays high is to collect some things. Don't forget, this is a platformer and was a platform without some stuff to collect. In fact, Yoshi's Island centers its gameplay around you collecting objects to not only increase the time in your timer, but to also attain a high score as close to a perfect 100 as possible for each level. This is done by the collection of 3 different things: flowers, red coins, and starmen. Each stage holds 5 flowers containing a point value of 10, 20 red coins with a point value of 1, and lastly 30 starmen with a point value of 1 as well. Now, Yoshi's Island isn't too difficult a game, but if you decide to collect all these things in each stage and go for 100%, it will definitely turn out to be a time-consuming and challenging experience, but still an extremely fun one. No matter how you choose to play through Yoshi's Island, it'll be made a bit easier with its battery-back save game feature, which saves your progress after each level. Awesome and painless. Perhaps the biggest departure from the standard Mario style came in the graphics. Believe it or not, Yoshi's Island was originally planned to look just like its predecessor. However, after seeing Donkey Kong Country, Nintendo's evaluation committee urged the game's producer, our buddy Mr. Miyamoto, to push the visuals in a similar direction. What resulted may not have been the pre-rendered graphics of DKC, but a unique and absolutely gorgeous visual style that really showed the Super Nintendo could make games that look better than CD-based counterparts of the time. The best way I can describe the visual style is that the entire game looks as if it was done with a box of Crayolas. It contains beautiful hand-drawn visuals complemented with a huge palette full of bright pastel colors. In my opinion, these graphics are just breathtaking and are definitely up there with some of my all-time favorites. It should also be noted this game made good use of the Super Nintendo FX2 chip. It contains smooth sprite scaling, great parallax scrolling, huge yet unpixelated bosses, and even some really nice 3D effects. With that just being the icing on the cake of the visuals department, you'd think there'd be no way the music could live up to the graphics. Well, unfortunately, you'd be right. Now calm down, this soundtrack is awesome. Really awesome, actually. It's far above average, and more than a few songs will get stuck in your head, maybe even enough to find their way onto your iPod. However, with Yoshi's Island's incredibly gorgeous graphics, I think it dug itself into a hole. The developers set the bar so high with the visuals there was no way the music could ever live up to them. But as I said, it's still a top-notch soundtrack that makes the Super Nintendo sound chip sing better than most games ever could. Overall, Yoshi's Island is a masterpiece and probably my new favorite Super Nintendo platformer. Right next to Donkey Kong Country though, of course. Whether it's the beautiful graphics, the great gameplay, or the enchanting 16-bit soundtrack, this game is the definition of a gem. Don't let the fact that it strays away from its predecessor's formula steer you away though, because in all honesty, I think it's the better game. Yoshi's Island is a platformer fan's dream, and a necessity in anyone's Super Nintendo library, so if you don't already own this one, do yourself a favor and go pick it up. Well, that's it for this edition of Classic Video Game Channel. I'll see you guys next time.